The most important thing, I think, for players that come after me is to understand that these things are possible. You know, like you don't want to ever limit your imagination or limit what's possible because people may think you're crazy, right? But if us as athletes don't think that it's possible to do these things, how in the world can we inspire people?
Well, I mean, because I think the greatest fear that we face is ourselves, actually. It's not anything that's external or anything that's superficial. I think the greatest fear you face is yourself, because you know, we all have dreams, and it's very scary sometimes to accept the dream that you have. And it's scarier still to say, okay, I want that. It's scary because you're afraid that if you put your heart and soul into it and you fail, then how are you going to feel about yourself, right? So being fearless means putting yourself out there and going for it. No matter what, go for it. Not for anybody else, but for yourself.
I take you to this scene. 20 seconds left to go. You're down by 1. You want the ball. You want to take the last shot.
Absolutely. I'm not afraid to fail, and I just love it. It's just an adrenaline rush.
9 seconds.
Everybody in the crowd stands up, and everybody's waiting to see if you're going to make the shot, if you're going to lose the game, or you're going to win the game. It's an unbelievable rush.
Teams, was people double teaming you during pickup?
Oh yeah, oh yeah.
And what do you think about? Like,
say you got to send another one.
Straight up.
Yeah, you got to send another one, man.
Straight up, straight the fuck up.
So at 13 years old, I had a I had a kill list, and so you know they used to do these rankings. It was Street and Smith basketball rankings. And I was nowhere to be found because I was like 6'4", scrawny, like 160 pounds soaking wet. So I was like 57 on the list. And so I will look at 56, 55, all the way up to number 1, who these players are, what club teams they played for. So when we go on an AAU travel circuit, I got to hunt them down, right? And so that became my mission in high school, is to check off every other person, all those 56 other names, hunt them down and knock them down.
I remember what Babe Ruth said. He swings big and he misses big. Same thing with me. I have no fear whatsoever.
Because I notice sometimes you look back at the defender to watch their expression. What's that like?
Yeah, it's you know, you get the feeling from the defenders where it's like, oh man, no, just can't, not tonight, you know, sort of thing, and I thrive off of that.
You love that, don't you?
Oh yeah.
You love that like defeated look?
Yeah, oh, absolutely.
What are you still waiting for a big smile out of you? You're up 2-0. What's the story? Are you not happy, or you're only half happy, or?
Still to be happy about.
You're up 2-0.
Job's not finished. Job finished? I don't think so.
Okay.
And I used to work out with the 76ers. I used to ask them, you know, what's it like to guard Mike? You go, Mike? You mean Black Jesus? I'm like, what the fuck? Black who? Oh, we call him Black Jesus. Or you can call him Black Cat. I'm like, I'm gonna call him fucking Mike. That's his fucking name. So the level of fear that he inspired in others was insane. Wow. And I would tell him, I said, when I face him, we're gonna go at it. He says, oh, you don't wanna do that. I'm like, what? Man, you don't know me, man.
Michael's a great basketball player, but I'm Kobe Bryant.
So when we matched up, I think he understood that. And you know, when I was 18, my first year, he got the best of me a bunch of times. I was right there the next play. You're not intimidating me, yeah. I'm not going anywhere. And I think he saw that level of respect, because I think he was the same way at 18 years old. And that common bond is what I think, you know, where our connection was built.
You want to play against Michael Jordan before he retires. He's only got probably 3 or 4 more years left, so.
I know he's an old guy. He's an old guy. But nah, you know, that'd be something that I love to do because, you know, I watched him growing up. I love to play against Magic Johnson, but now he's retired. And Michael Jordan is somebody that I've always looked up to, and I want to play against him.
It was a huge honor. Like when you see the votes tallying up, and you're like, wait a minute, I'm a starter on this team? I only started my own team, right. You know? And like, it became very serious to me because I didn't want to make it seem like I was just some bubblegum player.
Yeah.
Popularity got me in there. It was like, well, hold on, no, I can hoop. You know, so I wanted to prove, like, you know, I belong here, sort of thing. And you know, the hype of going up against Mike, it was okay. let's go. Show me. Like, I've been watching you play my whole life.
Yeah.
Show me. Like, I want to see this. Everybody calling you Black Jesus and all this other crap.
Yeah.
Like, you have to show me, man. And I went out there and we went head up. And, you know, I think his respect and appreciation for me really grew that day because you saw on the biggest stage, I didn't shy away from that confrontation. I looked forward to that competition.
Yeah, you look forward to
and, you know, George Karl, which, you know, later in years became my motivation when we played against Denver, is to never let them win the playoff series because he didn't play me the whole fourth quarter of that game.
I remember that.
See what I'm saying? Because me and Mike went at it,
Yeah.
you know, for 3 quarters, and then in the fourth quarter, the crowd's waiting for me to get back in there. He benches me the whole fourth.
I remember that.
And it was like, okay.
Every time I see you, you getting this work.
It's on site. It's on site. So when we played the Denver Nuggets in the playoffs, it was like, hold on, yo, you will never beat me in the playoffs.
You want to be the best player ever, but you don't want that comparison.
I'll tell you the truth, there's really no comparison. I mean, we're so different. Only similarities are we're both athletic and we both like to shoot the basketball. I think that's the only comparison. I think that's where it stops. But, you know, the similarities are pretty much going to end as my career continues to progress and I continue to grow into my own individual aspects of my game.
This is all coming back to me right now. There's also a game in Phoenix, my first year we were playing, and he kept posting up, but they kept fouling him, so he kept going to the free throw line and kept missing them. And so he'd throw the ball out to me. I'm not throwing that shit back in there, right? So I kept shooting him, right? So we get in the timeout, and he's like, hey, I'm open. I'm like, okay. And so we go out, and same thing, hey, I'm open. Okay. There you go. Come back in. Hey, dude, you got to throw me the ball. I said, man, fuck that. Get it off the rebound if I miss, bro.
You told him this. First year.
18 years old, man. 18 years old. And I must have been out of my damn mind.
Cowbell's never blocked my jump shot. And, you know, especially in the game 7. All that doesn't matter.
It doesn't matter who I'm playing you. Push your ass. It doesn't matter.
Who beat you in one-on-one if it ever happened in practice?
No one.
All right, you once said, if you see me in the fight with the bear, pray for the bear.
Right.
Is that still going to be true when you come back?
Yeah, Bear's having a hard time. I'm beating the bear up pretty good right now.
Be yourself. That's it. Be you. Be you. There's no gimmick. You don't have to contrive anything. Who are you? Where are you today? What is your story? Where does that come from? Right? And then all you're doing is not communicating the story to the public.
The shot that really matters is a pull-up shot because it all comes back to that, right? And so you can do all these moves beforehand, they don't matter. Eventually you're going to get to a spot you're going to raise up and shoot. So doing that shot thousands of times got me so comfortable with the shot that I could shoot that shot anytime. There's nothing you can do about it. And if you shoot a shot thousands of times, I can change the trajectory anytime I want. I can flatten it out anytime I want. You can be in my face, it's not gonna make a difference because it's on autopilot.
It's on autopilot.
See what I'm saying? So like no matter what happens, it transpires here, whether it's a jab step or a crossover or a double, it doesn't matter because when I get to that spot and I raise up and shoot, I've done it thousands of times. That's in the bottom of the barrel.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? So it all comes down to that shot. You know, what I try to do is just try to be still and understand that things come and go, emotions come and go. The important thing is to accept them all, to embrace them all, and then you can choose to do with them what you want versus being controlled by emotion. You know, a lot of times I've seen players, even myself, you know, when I was younger, being consumed by a particular fear, and to the point where you're saying, okay, nah, it's not good to feel fear. I shouldn't be nervous in a situation, like, nah. And it does nothing but grow versus stepping back and saying, yeah, I am nervous about the situation. Yeah, I am fearful about the situation. Well, what am I afraid of? And then you kind of unpack it. And then it gives you the ability to look at it for really what it is, which is nothing more than your imagination running its course. You know?
How did you become one of those people who doesn't seem to be afraid of failing?
It doesn't exist. It's not existent. What the hell does that mean? Seriously, what does failure mean? It doesn't exist. It's a figment of your imagination. What does it mean?
You're pulling a Jedi mind trick
No,
on me
I'm
right now.
serious.
It's like, does it exist?
No, I'm serious. Look, I'm trying to think, like, how can I explain it? So, let's use happy endings, right? And then we can relate this to failure, why it's not existent. Like, you know, everybody talks about, like, everybody wants a happy ending, right? Now let's go to the reality of it, right? Let's look at a fairy tale story. Let's look at Snow White. She gets a happy ending, she finds Prince, whatever, she goes on, she lives happily ever after. Well, I call bullshit on that, because 2 months later, the fact is they had an argument and he's sleeping on the couch. Right? So the point is, the story continues. The story continues. So if you fail on Monday, the only way it's a failure on Monday is if you decide to not progress from that, right? So to me, that's why failure is not existent. Because, you know, if I fail today, okay, I'm going to learn something from that failure, and I'm going to try again on Tuesday. And I fail, and I'm going to try again on Wednesday. So it doesn't exist.
So easy to give up.
Yeah, it's really hard, man, because it's such a tedious process. And what I found helpful is to not look at the top of the mountain, because the mountain is so damn daunting. You know, it's like, so instead I just choose to focus on one step at a time. And then by the time you realize you're at the top of the mountain again, and that's how I handle all my recoveries, is just focus on the next thing, focus on the next thing, focus on the next thing. And also, you know how time flies. Yeah. Like, time goes by really fast. So like when you're sitting here in the moment dealing with the injury that's a 9-month injury, I can't do that.
Yeah.
But when 12 months go by, you're gonna wish you did. Because it goes by like that.
It goes by like that.
You know what I'm saying? So that's always been my approach. It's just one step at a time, one step at a time.
One day at a time.
And I didn't want the injuries dictating when I retired. I wanted to control that. It's like, no, my body, sit down, be humble. You're not telling me when I'm walking away. Right. Like, I'm gonna tell you when I'm ready to go.
My family walks in. It's Vanessa and our daughters. And you know, I'm already, you know, I've been crying, and well, I had tears in my eyes. I don't think I was crying yet. I was more upset. Like, this could be the end. In the locker room, on the court, around my teammates, I've always tried to be very strong and be invincible. Not be Clark Kent, but be Superman. And then your family comes in, and now that is home. That's where you can be you. And I just let it go. I mean, I couldn't hold on to it anymore, you know? And you don't, you know, looking at my daughter's faces, I mean, they were genuinely afraid, right? Because they could feel something, they could feel the tension, but didn't really know exactly why. And you know, as a parent, the first thing that comes to your mind is when you see your kids afraid, you want them to not be afraid, right? You want to give them strength, you want to give them courage, you want to reassure them. And the only way I could reassure them is by telling them, hey, daddy's okay. You know, it's gonna be all right. You know, it's a little setback, but we'll be fine. Right? This is what we talk about all the time. You know, you have a bump in the road, you fall, you get back up, and you go after it again. Right? That's what we do.
Take us back to that day against Phoenix, right? When you injured your Achilles.
Against Golden State.
Oh, Golden State.
It was hard, man. Because the Achilles injury is the worst injury for an athlete. It's like the worst. It's like the kiss of death. And when I ruptured my Achilles, I knew what happened. I knew the severity of the injury, and I didn't know if I was going to come back from it.
Yeah, in the locker room, you were crying.
Yeah, I mean, I didn't, like, this is it. Like, my career could be over right now. So.
Well, I mean, it's one of those moments. You know, I think we all have moments like this in life where it just seems like that day is never going to end. You know, it just seems like the moment that you're in just feels like the darkest moment to you. You know, you personally feel like, I don't know if I can do this again. I don't know if I can come back, you know, and you have to issue that challenge to yourself and try to respond to it.
Well, I want to start off by reading something that you wrote right after you were injured. You went on Facebook and you posted a lengthy blog. Yeah. You know what this is?
Oh, yeah.
You said this.
You gonna read the whole thing?
I'm gonna read some of it. This is such BS. All the training and sacrifice just flew out the window with one step that I've done millions of times. The frustration is unbearable. The anger is rage. Why the hell did this happen? Makes no damn sense. Now I'm supposed to come back from this and be the same player or better at 35? How in the world am I supposed to do that? I have no clue. Do I have the consistent will to overcome this thing? Maybe I should break out the rocking chair and reminisce on the career that was. Maybe this is how my book ends. Maybe Father Time has defeated me. Then again, maybe not. It's 3:30 a.m., my foot feels like dead weight, my head is spinning from the pain meds, and I'm wide awake. Forgive my venting, but what's the purpose of social media if I won't bring it to you real, no image? Feels good to vent, to let it out, to feel as if this is the worst thing ever. Because after all the venting, the real perspective sets in. There are far greater issues and challenges in the world than a torn Achilles. Stop feeling sorry for yourself. Find the silver lining and get to work with the same belief, same drive, and same conviction as ever. One day, the beginning of a new career journey will commence. Today is not that day. If you see me in a fight with a bear, pray for the bear. I've always loved that quote. That's Mamba mentality. We don't quit, we don't cower, we don't run, we endure and conquer. So